Deep in the heart of the African bush,
The silence is no longer sacred,
it's being shattered,
not just by the whisper of the wind,
but by something far more dangerous.
ruthless poachers now cast long shadows across the savannah, and where fear spreads, an unlikely resistance begins to rise. At the center of it all is Sonny Frank,
A man who once lived his life hidden away,
in the quiet corners of a railway kitchen.
now standing face to face with the wild. Alone, well, almost.
By his side is Fearless,
A young boy whose bravery exists somewhere beneath layers of very real panic. Close behind them trots Dog,
a towering Rottweiler who seems to be the only one with any idea where they're actually headed.
and leading this extraordinary charge.
Rainy, a baby rhino, too young to understand he's a target,
Too bold to ever feel like one.
because in his world, he's not a victim, he's the hero.
And this is his story.
So there I was, just Sonny, the sizzling, nutty trained chef, who's hanging onto a past full of storms, impulsive, insecure, an individual barely hanging on by a thread. Now meet him at his lower than usual, right after a horrific brawl on a luxury tourist train. A guy on the way down, way too fast. But then it happened, a quirk in the plan, a chance encounter, a trade-in for a free ride to Pretoria, and a bit of an unappreciated joint venture with the sassy-looking kid named Fearless. But the wild things to reveal something important. Broken and lost in the African woods, Sonny turns to the only thing known to him: herbs and spices, nature's hidden vocabulary. The road to survival took on a whole new meaning, because somewhere along the way, that fake turned into a real hero, and he chose to stand up, not just for himself but for some precious rhinos. But beyond the scenes, the story isn't all smooth sailing. Since 2023, the man behind Sonny, Leon Schuster, has been fighting a tough battle on his own. Severe back injuries, multiple surgeries, sets that pushed him to come back and learn how to walk. Step by step, through 2024 and into 2025, it's been tough and full of scar patches, but the really big fights are ones we don't usually see. On screen, he was Fearless, a 10-year-old boy small in size, but carrying a mission far bigger than himself. After poachers took everything, he found something unexpected: a bond with an orphan rhino named Rainy, and a loyal dog, simply called Dog. But here's the truth: Fearless was terrified of his own shadow. Every sound, every step, every unknown in the wild. Yet somehow, he dared to dream the impossible. Using his father's last Kruger rand, he set a plan in motion. A wild, desperate gamble to stop the rhino horn trade. A child trying to change a world far bigger than him. And in that journey, fear didn't disappear, it transformed. Through loyalty, through friendship, through love, the boy who once trembled learned how to stand. But beyond the screen, the story didn't stop there. The man behind Fearless, Thembantuli, grew into something just as powerful. From local comedy to the global stage, appearing in major series like Resident Evil and Netflix's Shadow, his voice reached far beyond home. But his greatest role was yet to come. By 2026, he chose a different spotlight, one built on purpose. He speaks life into young people, sharing truth, faith, and direction, not just as an actor, but as a guide, a mentor, a voice for the next generation. On screen, he was Dolph, a man trusted to protect the wild, the head ranger of the reserve. But behind the badge was betrayal, cold, calculated, and driven by greed. Dolph wasn't just a villain, he was a reflection of something real, the darkness that hides behind power, the kind that sells out nature for profit. And when he turned, he didn't hesitate. He became the very thing he was meant to destroy: a poacher, a predator in human form. And every moment he appeared on screen, you felt it, because this wasn't just acting, it was a villain you couldn't look away from. But beyond the screen, the man behind Dolph, Kenneth Nkosi, is a force of a completely different kind. A titan of South African screens. From comedy to crime, to commanding drama, he does it all. In recent years, he's dominated the streaming world with powerful performances in Disaster Holiday and Soon Comes Night. One moment, he's the hilarious uncle everyone loves. The next, a cold-blooded gangster you fear. That's range. But his impact doesn't stop in front of the camera. Behind the scenes, he's helping shape the future. Producing, funding, championing local stories that carry the voice of South Africa to the world, because true power isn't just in the roles you play, it's in the stories you choose to tell. From the muddy patches of the Bushveld to reaching the pinnacle of fame, the cast of Frank and Fearless left us in awe. showing us that no matter how tiny you might be, or scared you might be, you still have the ability to make a difference in the world. Let the tunes flow. Just let them. Just let them. And then tell us, who had the most memorable story arc? Drop your guess in the comments below.